If you've ever seen the gruesome photos of what can happen when you try to outrun a train, you understand why we teach new drivers to be cautious on train tracks. Hello, I'm Jane Ewell, and with me is veteran crash investigator and driver safety expert Mike Pehl. He has a personal experience about train tracks that he's going to tell you about. But before we go there, let's have Natasha Johnson tell us about today's enrichment. Natasha?
Yeah, so today we have Sophia from Rochester, Minnesota. She says, my mom told me about a very sad story that happened when she was in high school. A boy in her grade and three of his friends were killed when he drove through a railroad crossing and were hit by an oncoming train. The crossing was in a rural area where they had no lights or crossbars. This crash affected her entire school, and it was in a small rural town.
Okay, so train tracks, always dangerous. Trains can't stop. We know that. We've taught that forever. I've been teaching over 45 years, and in every class we have to talk about trains. Although the train tracks have become safer, meaning our crossings have been made safer because of people that don't obey them. So they have to force intelligent into the not so smart driver. Okay. So let's just talk about it. So this was in a rural area. There was a marking, but they don't put a flashing light and gates down in the rural areas. And it'll say, approaching train does not sound horn. Approaching train does not, there's no flashing lights. So we got to read our signs. That's the first thing we try and teach people when driving is got to read your signs. So, I don't know that these four young people, it's tragic that they lost their life, but obviously there was a little risk taking. Nobody wants to wait for a train. And I want you to keep in mind the next time you have to wait on a train, I want you to just time it. A minute sitting at a traffic red light seems like it's 10 minutes when it's only a minute. Same thing with a train. If the train's going 60 miles an hour, the average train is 1 mile long. So if the train's going 30 miles an hour, it's going to be through the crossing in 2 minutes if it's only going 30. So think of that, 40, 60 miles an hour is a mile every minute. If the train's a mile long, it'll be through the crossing in a minute. So if it was going 30, cut that in half. If it was going 15, then it's going to be 3 minutes. So don't get on your calculators and force that to come out right, but that's the way it should be. So you know what? This is what I want to say. In the personal story is one that happened quite a while ago, and it was a tanker truck, a semi that wanted to go around the gates. The gates were down, and the truck actually wanted to weave around. So if you were the smarter driver, because the truck didn't make it, and the train hit and we actually have this video, I believe, in our curriculum. But the train hit the tanker truck, and 28 people fried in their cars. When a train hits anything, it's going to explode it. If there's gas and sparks and fumes, there's going to be an explosion. Well, this happened to be 80,000 pounds of fuel. That's not going to go well, but anybody around it. The fact of the matter is, before that train got there on both sides of the crossing, everybody had to have seen this truck that's going to go around it. And there's two things that people don't understand when I say this is for life. You remember this for the rest of your life. When we stop behind another car, we always see the back tires touching the ground. Why? Because we got an exit. It gives us the exit. So if I'm sitting behind this yellow truck and this is me, and we're stopped at a railroad crossing, and all of a sudden we see a tanker truck that is going to go around the gate, guess what I get to do? I get to make a U-turn, get out of there. See, if I can't see them tires touching, I'm stuck. Can't do it. All right, I'm boxed in here. I can't back up because the car behind me is usually going to getting close to me. So like I say, when you stop behind another vehicle, number one rule, always see them back tires touching, because the number one thing is whether you're going to get rear-ended, head-on, whatever, you have an exit. You always have that exit. But 28 people in 28 different cars didn't know that. They didn't know what to do there. They all of a sudden the truck gets hit. There's an explosion. Fuel is thrown all over the place. It's running all over the place. It ignites, and guess how fast that travels? Very fast. So yeah, it was unfortunate. So, we just need to obey the rules, just obey the signs, and things get pretty simple.
All right. Well, you know what, Mike? That's a good lesson for sure. I know as a kid, I lived in Illinois, and we had to, every day going to school, there was always a train that either stopped us on the way to school, which made us happy. But if it stopped us on the way home, we were sad. But anyway, that's my thing for trains. But there was a lot of them that did not have, any signs or lights or anything, and because it was a rural area.
Yeah, well, in our bus ride, we were, the kids are the ones that had to get out of the bus, and we got to go in front of the bus and run across the tracks, and we go, okay, it's okay. So yeah, the kids would actually get out and look both ways, and then
Wow.
they'd do the old swim, come on, it's okay, and then they'd go over the tracks, the bus would drive over, and they'd pick them up. Now, I don't know if that makes me sound really old, but
Maybe we're both old. Thank
Yeah.
goodness we have Natasha.
That's right. I'll keep you guys young.
yeah.
Thank you.
Who's gonna be my track runner today? Me. Everybody wanted to run across the tracks. I don't know why.
Well, because it's kind of fun. Yeah, right.
There
I
you
could
go.
see that. Anyway, well, all right. Well, you know what? That's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. We enjoyed creating these podcasts, throwing your parents under the bus. And we want to thank you for that and your support for us. If you want to watch other episodes, we would like it if you can subscribe to our youtube.com/DriveSafeRideSafe1, because the podcasts are on there and you can watch any one of them. They're in kind of, numerical order, and we'd love it. And we'd love you to also share it with others. We also have a new video with Mike's secret tips and tricks to pass your test on the first try. We made this video for students who are getting ready to take their driver test, but might have a bit of anxiety. So check it out by going to our website, DriveSafeRideSafe.com, and then click on the link once you see it pop up. And of course, always remember to
Drive safe and
Ride safe.
.com. Thank you. Have a good one.
bye.